भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय
जय
आनंद गौरी वैष्णववृंद की
जय
जय
आचार्य दास ठाकुर की
जय
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत धाम
जय
आनंद गौरी वैष्णववृंद की शिव
जय
गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि
हरि
बोल
हरि
हरि बोल।
all glories assembled devotees, all glories
हरे
assembled
कृष्ण
devotees, all glories
हरे
assembled.
कृष्ण
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो
ओम नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय।
Hare Krishna, welcome back to Srimad Bhagavatam study class. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 10, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka, and today's verses 11 to 16. Verse number 11 and 12 together. Sat Sangan,
सत्संगान
Mukta Dussango,
मुक्त दुसंगो
Hatum,
हातुम
Na,
न
Utsahade,
उल्सहदे
Buddha,
बुद्धा
Kirtyamanam,
कीर्त्यमानं
Yasho,
यशो
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 Yasya,
यस्य
यस्या
Sakrid,
सकृत्
सकृत्
Akarnya,
अकर्ण्य
Rochanam,
अकरण्या
रोचनम्
Tasmin,
तस्मिन्
Nistadya,
दिया
Partha,
पार्थ
Saheran,
सहेरन्
सहेरन्
Viraham,
विरहम्
विरहं
Katham,
कथम्
कथं
Darshana,
दर्शन
Parsha,
स्पर्श
स्पर्श
Samlapa,
संलाप
Shayana,
शयन
शयन
Asana,
आसन
आसन
Bhojane,
भोजन
भोजनै
Satsangan Mukta Sango,
सत्संगान्
Satsangan
मुक्त
Mukta
संगो
Dusango, Atum Notsahade Buddha,
आदं नोत्सहदे बुधा
Vidyamanam Yasho Yasya,
कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य
Vidaranyarocanam,
सकृदा कर्णरोचनम्
Tasmin Yastadiya Partha,
तस्मिन्नस्तदिया पार्थ
Heran Viraham Katham,
सहेरन् विरहं कथम्
Darshana Sparsha Samlapa,
दर्शन स्पर्शसल्लाप
Shayanasana Bhojanai,
शयनासन भोजनै
Tatsangan Mukta Dusango,
सत्सङ्गान् मुक्तदुःसङ्गो
Hatum Notsahade Buddha,
हातुं नोत्सहदे बुधा
Kirtyamanam Yasho Yasya,
कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य
Sakridaranyarocanam,
सकृदा कर्ण्यरोचनम्
Tasmin Nyastadhiya Partha,
तस्मिन् सद्या पार्थ
Heran Viraham Katham,
सहेरन् विरहं कथम्
Darshana Sparsha Samlapa,
दर्शन स्पर्शसल्लाप
Shayanasana Bhojanai.
शयनासन भोजनै
भोजने
Sarajamaji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सत्संगान् मुक्त दुस्संगो हादुं नोत्सहदे बुधा कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य सकृत्या कर्णरोचनं तस्मिन्नस्तदिया पार्थ सहेरन् विरहं कथं दर्शन स्पर्श सल्लाभ शयनासन भोजनैः। हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kalsangan hatum notsahate buddha kirtyamanam yesho yasya sakrita karnirochanam tasminyastadhiya partha saheran viraham katham darshanasparsha samlabha shayanasana bhojane. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, Melindamaji.
Hare Krishna. Satsangan mukta dusango hatum no sahate buddha kirtyamanam yasho yasya sakrida karnya rochanam tasmin nyasta diha partha saheran viraham katham darshana sparsha samlapa shayanasana bhojane. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Stigdamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय सत्संगान्मुक्त दुःसंगो हातुं नोत्सहते बुद्धः कीर्त्यमानं यशो यस्य सकृता कर्णरोचनं तस्मिन्नस्य धियः पाठः सहेरन्वीरहं कथं दर्शन स्पर्शा संलाप शयनासन भोजनैः. May I read the synonyms?
Yes, please.
Synonyms: Satsangat, by the association of pure devotees; Mukta Dussangah, freed from bad materialistic association; Hatum, to give up; Na Ussate, never attempt; Buddha, one who has understood the Lord; Kirtyamanam, glorifying; Yasah, fame; Yasya, whose; Sakrit, once only; Akarnya, hearing only; Rochanam, pleasing; Tasmin, unto him; Nyastadhyah, one who has given his mind unto him; Parthah, the son of Pritha; Saharan, can tolerate; Viraham, separation; Katham, how; darsana, seeing face to face; sparsa, touching; sanlapa, conversing; sayana, sleeping; asana, sitting; bhojanehi, dining together. Translation: the intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become freed from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could be Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Purport: by his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The living being's constitutional position is one of serving a superior. He is obliged to serve by force the dictates of illusory material energy in different phases of sense gratification. And in serving the senses, he is never tired. Even though he may be tired, the illusory energy perpetually forces him to do so without being satisfied. There is no end to such sense gratificatory business, and the conditioned soul becomes entangled in such servitude without hope of release. The release is only effected by association with pure devotees. By such association, one is gradually promoted to his transcendental consciousness. Thus, he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord and not to the perverted senses in the capacity of lust, anger, desire to lord it over, etc. Material society, friendship, and love are all different phases of lust. Home, country, family, society, wealth, and all sorts of coro- corollaries are all causes of bondage in the material world, where the threefold miseries of life are concomitant factors. By associating with pure devotees and by hearing them submissively, attachment for material enjoyment becoming slackened, and attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord become prominent. Once they are there, will go probably without notice, like fire and powder. Indicated that the personal Godhead is so transcendental, even those who are self-satisfied and actually liberated from material bondage also become devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood that must have been the position of the Pandavas, who were constant companions of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since the attraction was more intense for them because of continuous personal contact. His remembrance by his form, quality, name, fame, pastimes, etc., is also attractive for the pure devotee, so much so that he forgets all forms, qualities, names, fame, and activities of the mundane world. And due to his material association with pure devotee, he is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 13. Sarve
Sarve
te
te
animisher
Animishe
Adivishe
akshais
Akshay
She
tam
Tam
anu
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 drudachetasa
Drudachetasa
vikshanta
Chanda
Vikshanta
sneha sambandha
Sneha
Sneha
Sambandha
vichelus
Vijelu
Vichelu
tatra
Atra
Tatra
tra
Tatra
Tatraha
a
Ta
sarve te animisherakshis
Sarve De Animishay Akshay
tam anudridachetasa
Tam
Anudurachetasa
vikshanta sneha sambandha
Vikshanta
Vishunda
Vishanta
Sneha
Sneha
Sambandha
Sambandha
vichelus tatra tatraha
Vijelu
Tatra
Tatra
Tatraha
sarve te animishe akshais
Sarve De Animishay Akshay
tam anudrida chetasa
Tam
Vijay
Nugraha
vikshanta sneha sambandha
Vikshanta
Vishanta
Vishunda
Sneha
Sneha Sambandha
Sambandha
vichelus tatra tatraha
Vichelu Tatra
Vijelu Tatra
Tatraha
Tatraha
sarve te animisher akshais
Sarve De Animishay Akshay
Akshay
anudrida chetasa
Tamanudhrute Dasa
vikshanta sneha sambandha
Vishanta Sneha
Vishunda Sneha
Sambandha
Sambandha
vichelus tatra tatraha.
Vijayelu Tatra Tatraha
Right, Sarjamaji.
Om Namo Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarvade Animishair Ashes Tamanudhrita Chedasa Vishanda Sneha Sambadha Vijayelu Tatra Tatraha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Jai Shrimaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarve te animishe rakshaistam anudruta chetasa vikshanda sneha sambadha vijedustatra tatraha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdhamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarvete animishe rakshes tamanudruta chetasah vikshantah sneha sambandha bichelus tatra tatraha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Melindamaji.
Hare Krishna. Sarvate animishe rakshe tam anudrita chetasa vishantah sneha sambada vichelus tatra tatraha. May I read Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Sarve, all, they, animishe, without twinkling of the eyes, Akshay by the eye, Tam Anu after him, Druta Chetasaha, melted heart, Vikshantaha, looking upon him, Sneha Sambadaha, bound by pure affection, Vichilluhu, began to move, Tatra Tatra, here and there, Ha, so they did. Translation: all their hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal amongst all eternals. He alone is the maintainer of the many eternals. This is stated in the Katha Upanishads, and thus one can obtain permanent peace and prosperity by revival of one's eternal relation with him, now forgotten under the spell of Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. Once this relation is slightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes free from the illusion of the material energy and becomes mad after the association of the Lord. This association is made possible not only by personal contact with the Lord, but also by association with His name, fame, form, and quality. Srimad Bhagavatam trains the conditioned soul to this stage of perfection by submissive hearing from the pure devotee. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, verse 14. Nerundan
Yarundan
Nirundhan
Udgalat
Udgala
Udgalat
Bashpam
Bashvam
Aukandhyat
Kandhyat
Kantyad
Devaki Sude
Devaki Sute
Devagi Sude
Nidyati
Niryat
Nidyati
Agarat
Agara
Yad
Na
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 Adbadram
Abhadram
Adbadram
Iti
Idi
Sya
Sya
Yad
Bandhava
Bandhava
Kantava
Kriya
Bandhava
Priya
Priyaha
Nirundan Udgalat Bashpam
Nirundan Udgala Bashvam
Galadvaspam
Autkandya Devaki Sude
Autkandya Devagi Sude
Nivyadagaranna Bhadram
Niryatagaro Na Abhadram
Disyat Bandhavastriya
Idi Syad Bandhavastriya
Nirundan Udgalat Bashpam
Nirundan Udgala Bashvam
Aukandya Devaki Sude
Autkandya Devagi Sude
Devaki
Nivyadagaranna No Bhadram
Niryatagaro Na Abhadram
Bhadram
Disyat Bandhavastriya
Idi Syad Bandhavastriya
Iti Syad
Nirundan
Bandhavastriya
Udgalat Bashpam
Nirundan Udgala Bashvam
Aukandya Devaki Sude
Autkandya
Autkantya
Devagi Sude
Vidyadagaranno Bhadram
Niryat Agaranto Bhadram
Visyat Bandhavastriya
Idi Syad Bandhavastriya
Sajamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Niryandun Gada Udgalat Bashpam Auskandya Devagi Sude Niryatyaga Agaranno Bhadram Idi Syad Bandhavastriya. Hare Krishna.
Sajamaji.
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय निरुन्धन्मुद्गलत् बाष्पमोत्कण्ठ्यादेवकीसुते निर्यात्यगारान्नो अभद्रम् इति स्यात् बान्धवस्त्रिया हरे कृष्ण
Nirindamaji.
Hare Krishna. Nirudhan Udgalad Bhashpam Autkantya Devaki Sute Niryati Agaranno Abhadram इति स्यात् बान्धवा स्त्रिया। हरे कृष्ण।
Snigdhamaji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नैरुद्यानोद्गलद्बाष्पम् औत्कण्ठ्याद्देवकी सुते निर्याति अगरन्नो भद्रम् इति स्यात् बान्धवा स्त्रियः। May I read the synonyms?
Yes.
Nirudhyan, checking with great difficulties. Udgalat, overflowing. Baspam, tears. Utkanthyat, because of great anxiety. Devaki Suti, unto the son of Devaki. Niryati, having come out. Agarat, from the palace. Naha, not. Abhadram, inauspiciousness. Iti, thus. Syat, may happen. Bandhava, relatives. Striyaha, ladies. Translation: the female relatives whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. Purport: by His divine grace, ऐसे Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada की जय. There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapura. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him. And as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at that same time that tears at that moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes and their heart throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughters in law of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with Krishna, but all of them heard of him and his great activities. Thus, they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and become affectionate also, like those who were in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talks of Krishna, or worships Krishna become attached to him because Krishna is absolute. There is no difference between his name, form, quality, etc. Our intimate relation with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanativinandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Mahyam Dadadi Swapadandigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsam Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidamsa Nama Om Vishnavadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashavanavi Devi Daityaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadayine Prabhave Namam Madhuryojala Premadhyam Ruvanuga Bhaktidam Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastude Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Ruvanuga Viruddhava Siddhanta Dvanda Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Vairagyamurtaye Vipralambarasambode Padambuje Te Namaha Nama Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaurashakti Surubaya Rupanugavarayate Gaura Virbhavumestam Nirdishta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannadhaya Te Namaha Namah Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha H.I. Goshai Kori Charan Bandhan Jaham Hot Vignanash Abhishta Puran Vancha Kalpadruvasti Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namam Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktigam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Sirido Pango Mama Mandamate Gadi Mat Sarvasvadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadhimadam Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastho Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishthalabi Sevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasasaram Bhimam Shri Vadattalastidha Kashan Veniswane Gopi Gopinada Shretuna Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Sat Sangan Mukta Dussango Hatum Not Sahade Buddha Kirtyamanam Yasho Yasyam Sagadaranya Rochanam Tasmin Nyastadiya Partha Saheran Viraham Katham Darshana Sparsha Samplata Shayanasana Bhojane. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become free from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard of them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Hare Krishna. So the intense feelings, affection, prema, Pandavas having with Krishna, the devotees of Krishna, here chiefly Pandavas, they are so attached to Krishna that they know nothing other than Krishna. And Krishna also know nothing other than the devotees. This Krishna himself states in the 9th canto, the episode of Ambiraj Maharaja, when Durvasa Muni is fleeing from Sudarshan Chakra and finally trying to take shelter of Vishnu. And Vishnu says, I'm sorry, I'm helpless. You have caused an offense, a great offense to my pure devotee, who is always thinking about me. He knows nothing other than me. I'm always in his heart, and he's always in my heart. So this is an intense relationship with devotees having Krishna and Krishna having devotees. So this is like Bhagavad Gita says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Eh?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Exactly, I was reading the Prabhuji, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekah Kurunandano, but I could not understand again what is Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Means
Yes,
it
yeah.
is a Nischayatmika Buddhi, which means the intelligent. Exactly, I could not understand whether the intelligence that takes us towards God or the intelligence to focus a point.
Yes, see, focus point is always Krishna. Focus point is always Krishna for the devotees. So, Vyavasayatmika actually means profession. Vyavasaya means profession or professional. And what is the job of profession? You take a doctor or any specialist. His profession is so intensely attached to his profession that he doesn't think of anything else other than his profession. That is the hallmark of profession. So our intelligence should be such tuned so that we think only of Krishna. That is the professional intelligence. That's called Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi Ekeha. It is single focus only. Then if you see the next line, Bhushagahi Anandascha Buddhayo Avasayana. If you are doing so many things, like I said that Mataji comes the class, she's learning Ayurveda, she's learning Sanskrit, she's practicing yoga, she's teaching, she's reading Narayani, she's doing so many things, she's visiting all the temples in her part. So many things she's doing. It's told this is not good, but they wouldn't understand. See, they derive some kind of comfort. So it is a sattvic mode. They are in sattvic mode, yes. They derive some comfort. And they don't want to move away from that comfort. In case of very intense focus point with Krishna, it is so intense that a person who is never tired of speaking about Krishna and talking about Krishna and always thinking about Krishna, only such a person can relish that kind of association. Generally, people, they cannot be so intense. They cannot be so focused. They want to just spread it out. And they're careful, okay, some sattvic moods, the people are in sattvic mode, fine. They will associate some temples and some kind of groups. Like that, they'll go. But when they find that there are people who are only there, I mean, especially ISKCON, they're just focusing only on Krishna. And our scriptures and our classes are also like that. They feel a bit uncomfortable. Are you getting the point? This is what is practically happening. That's why in ISKCON, you
Yes,
don't find
Prabhu.
too many followers in ISKCON because ISKCON teaching is it's intense. Of course, nowadays they are many of them are diluting this, like bridge preaching and all that. They will not take the name of Krishna. They'll speak generally about things and trying to attract people. And then they claim that later on they will introduce Krishna as a spring, like that. As we have seen the fifth chapter of this canto, whenever you are trying to preach without the name and form of Krishna, without focusing Krishna, it is like a ship which has been, it doesn't have a rudder. I mean, what do you call
Yes.
it?
Without a seller, a boat seller,
Without?
boat without a seller. A seller, the person who is selling the boat.
Not sail actually. That thing that fixes the ship to one place. No anchor. Without anchor, if there is no anchor, what happens?
Okay.
Ship, when it gets to storm, it goes here and there, here and there, here and there, and finally capsizes. So, Srila Prabhupada never mince words. He's always speaking of Krishna. See, all these passages only focus on Krishna only. He's not deviating even a little bit. Even a millimeter, he will not deviate. Because what happens, suppose you speak to Krishna, people in a nice way, attract them, the data say that, okay, Krishna is supreme. Then they may ask, in that case, after some time, you may say that there is something superior to Krishna also. So why should we do that? Just to attract people. See, we have to be focused. We have to be intense. It will be intensive also. Because of that, we are not getting too many persons, some people. So fine, no problem. We are not here to do the number game. So Vyavasayatmika buddhi means focused on single point, and that single point is Krishna. So for that, if you want to taste Krishna's pastime, what we should do? We should get rid of the Sangha.
Yes. 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 Devotee, association of devotees,
Sangha,
and
yes.
discussing the past time, name, fame.
Yes, yes, exactly. The Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 11th canto also, there's a very nice verse we have got a few times before also. Tado dussangam utsujya sastu sajjeda buddhiman sanda evasya chintanti mano vaisanga uktivi. Tado, when a person is intelligent, he will discard bad association and take up good association, because the words of the saintly persons will cut to the heart knot of attachment, excessive attachment. Mano vaisangam uktivi. Mano vaisangam means excessive attachment mind. So when there is bad association, it can be a gross level attachment, like we are very focused on your body fitness, face, hair, so many things about the body. When you're intensely attached to your body, trying to keep it very neat and clean, and then you are having this the subtle body attachment, like mind, your relatives, and then you have the family, country, home, society, and all sorts of things which cause bondage. And then you have the bad philosophy also, following bad philosophy, and so many things which distracts you from Krishna. This is Dusanga. And Dusanga, where we are tired of illusory energy, then only we'll start thinking that we are wasting our time. We are reaching anywhere, we're not reaching anywhere. So we'll think about what to do. So the best thing is always go to a saint. So that is Satsanga. So Satsangan, by Satsanga, you have to get rid of Dusanga. Because when there is Dusanga, you will not relish the pastimes of Krishna. So this is very clear. It is very practical also. When we are filled with all kinds of bad association, bad philosophy, bad habits, lust, everything, you will not feel like listening to Krishna's instruction, Krishna's pastimes, his form, his name, his paraphernalia. But when you start associating and following some instructions of saintly persons, then slowly, your bad habits will fall off. And when the bad habits are getting cleansed up, and then the consciousness also becomes cleansed up, and then you start relishing the pastimes of Krishna. He said that we can test a person's cleanliness and his purity by his ability to listen or read or chant Krishna's name without stoppage. So when the devotees of Mayapur, Navadvip, they used to visit Puri when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Puri. So every also time, thousands and 10,000s and lakhs of devotees from Navadvip used to come and visit Puri. They were always led by a very capable person. His name was Satyaraj Khan. So Satyaraj Khan, whenever he approached Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he once asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked Mahaprabhu, who is a pure devotee? And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that a person who chants the name of Krishna is a pure devotee. So Satyaraj Khan was very satisfied, and then he went back. The next year, when he came back again, he asked the same question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, who is a pure devotee? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, one who chants the name of Krishna incessantly without stoppage all the time is a pure devotee. Satyaraj Khan was again very happy. He went back. And the third year, when he came back, he again asked the same question. Mahaprabhu, who is a pure devotee? Then Mahaprabhu said, by seeing a person when you start chanting, then he is a pure devotee. Just by seeing a person, you start chanting. When you're seeing a pure devotee, you start chanting, then these are purest devotee. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is differentiating between Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari. So we should always, Nectar of Instruction says that we should always try to seek the association of Uttamadhikari only. Because he's a person with the purest consciousness and purest devotional attitude. So we can get immense benefit from associating with him. There is no tinge of, he's akinchana, he's not tinge of materialism with him. So such person is very, very rare. ISKCON itself, you see Srila Prabhupada's purest devotee. So if you cannot associate with Srila Prabhupada directly, at least you can associate indirectly by reading his books, his instructions, his lectures. Just like in this purport Srila Prabhupada says, if you cannot directly contact or cannot directly associate Krishna, then you can associate with him through the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and associate people who are reading this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and who is taking the instructions of Srila Prabhupada very, very seriously, without any compromise. So at least in my case, I can say that I don't have any attachment for Krishna. But I feel that I'm a small soldier, a little soldier in Srila Prabhupada's army of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mission. So it's our duty to do whatever that is possible to make the mission of Srila Prabhupada success. Thereby we are focusing only on Srila Prabhupada only. And with his mercy only we can get attached to Krishna. We cannot directly get attached to Krishna. Without Srila Prabhupada's mercy, it's not possible at all. Otherwise, we'll be concocting things. So better not think too much about getting attached to Krishna. Think about carrying out the instruction of Srila Prabhupada as it is, without any change. So that is the best association that's possible. And here Srila Prabhupada says Krishna is so transcendently beautiful, that even the persons who are self-realized, who have no bad habits with them, and no bad association also, even they are attracted to Krishna. And there's a very verse, we have seen that verse also in the canto, this chapter itself. That Atmaramascha Muni nirbandho api urukrame kurvandi ahetugi bhakti ittam bodha guno hari. So the sages of Naimisharanya, they were asking Sudha Goswami, how Shukadeva Goswami, who is so, who is self-realized even from birth, how is it that he got a liking to, he got so much attraction to Srimad Bhagavatam? Srimad Bhagavatam is always about, it's just on Krishna only as a person. While the self-realized person who is, what do you call it, who has realized himself as a conscious self, how he can be attracted to a personal literature, a personal description of pastimes of a person. And then answer to that, Sudha Goswami is giving this answer. Atmaramastam, Atmaraman, one who is relishing the self. The munis, sages who are relishing in self, even they are attracted to the person, with the what I call great steps. That is urukrame. Urukrame means gigantic steps, which is meaning Vamana. By Ittam Buddha Gunohari, so transcendental attractions, transcendental qualities. Actually, in self-realization means get rid of all the bad qualities, say the sadguna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, and become what you call nirguna. This is the idea of liberation. Nirguna means nirakara, niragara, nirguna, parabrahma. They are worshipping that parabrahma aspect. But even those persons who are in the nirguna state, they are attracted by the sadguna of Krishna so much that they cannot cease worshipping him. So this is the attraction of Krishna. So Krishna is very attractive. And if that is the case, a person who is just listening once to the pastimes of Krishna, he is so much attracted to Krishna. So then what about the Pandavas? Pandavas are so intimately attached to Krishna. All the time they are with Krishna only. He said that darshana sparsha samlapa shayanasana bhojane. Katham, how they can sahen means how they can tolerate. Saheran viraham kadam, how they can tolerate this separation when all the time they're facing and seeing face to face, always touching each other, embracing each other, conversing always, and sleeping, sitting together, and dining always, or dining together. Every time, every second they're with Krishna, intimately with Krishna. How they can tolerate such separation? So in the next verse, it is said that Sarve te animishe rakshes tam anu dudachedasa vikshanda sneha sambadha cherus tatra tatraha. All the hearts were melting for him on the pot of attraction. They look at him without blinking their eyes, and they moved hither and thither in perplexity. Say their hearts were melting for him in the pot of attraction. So attraction is compared to a pot, and the heart is compared as ghee. The heart is melting, like the ghee is melting the pot. The heart is melting for Krishna. How? Because of attraction of Krishna. So Krishna is so attractive. Nityo Nityanam, Chedanas Chedananam. I mean, all the living entities, he is the most conscious. And he's always Nityo Nityanam among the and Nityas, eternals, is the most eternal. This is Kathopanishad. Srila Bhagavad quotes in 1.2 Bhagavad Gita, so 2.2, where we start with Bhagavan Vacha, who is describing who is Bhagavan. So once we revive our original love for Krishna, it is very difficult for us to be dissociate Krishna even for a second. And this attraction is always increasing, manifold, every second. So the Pandava state now is as if they have been, I mean, what happened? They are bombshelled. Their senses have become numb. Their mind is reeling. The intelligence is not working. They are continuously looking at Krishna only, continuously looking at Krishna. Krishna is about to get into the Ratha, and maybe he is moving on and mixing with the elderly people and ladies and all that. And wherever Krishna is going, they are looking intensely at him. And they are also moving here and there without any direction, without knowing what they are doing. We sometimes say that when you are so agitated, when you're at the point of when things are getting over your head, then sometimes we feel that we are looking wrong, we're just walking on like a headless chicken. Because we have lost all kinds of sense perception. And we cannot, everything is in a very messy thing. Difficult to coordinate things. When your mind is reading, very difficult to coordinate things. And when that happens, your movements also be like that. You'll be walking in one direction, then turn another direction. So you can say that what do you call it, zombies type Pandavas, they stayed like that conscious become very numb. So this is the height of prema of Krishna. Because now they are seeing that Krishna is about to be, so they're always feeling, even started feeling the impact of separation from Krishna. Even this kind of this state of affair, this kind of state of mentality or consciousness is actually very, very sweet. Because this is only for Krishna only. To get to this state is very difficult for a living entity. But if we are sincerely following the scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, if we can get a relish or develop taste for Srimad Bhagavatam, slowly our heart also will start melting. And we can realize Krishna is the most attractive person of the whole world. But we should do it with very submissive listening of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And try to read Srimad Bhagavatam every day if possible. At least 1 or 2 pages at least. So next. Nerundan Ugdalat Bashpam Aukandya Devaki Sude Nityadiyakaran no Bhadram Visyan Bandhavastriya. The female relatives whose eyes were flooded with tears out of anxiety for Krishna came out of the palace. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. So after explaining the state of consciousness of Pandavas. Now Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining, and Sudha Goswami is explaining what is the state of affairs of the ladies of the palaces. So many palaces in the capital, where the ladies of or the members of the Kuru dynasty, the female members of the Kuru dynasty, is selling there. And he said here, these ladies are wives and daughter-in-laws of those who died in the battlefield. So though they have not been to the battlefield, Kurukshetra, they have a very good, meticulous understanding of exactly of every incident that happened in Kurukshetra. And without doubt, we can see that Krishna is a hero of this great war. So they always heard about him, his great activities. And when you hear continuously about him, then you start thinking about Krishna only. And talk about Krishna. His name, his form, his beauty, his qualities. And then when these ladies of the palaces, when they understood that Krishna is now leaving for Dwaraka, leaving Hastinapura, they also came out of their palaces. And so much is their attraction for Krishna that, and tears started flowing from their eyes. And then became very afraid, because at the time of leaving, somebody's leaving, he said that it's inauspicious to cry or shed tears. So they wanted to control their tears. They put part of their dress and tried to cover the eyes. The eyes were, tears were flooding from the eyes. And with very great difficulty, they tried to control the tears. Because as they knew, it is inauspicious and not to cry when somebody is leaving. So even at that time also, they are thinking of Krishna's welfare only. So that is a state of a mentality of a devotee. Devotee is not concerned about himself. He is always concerned about Krishna. With the great service mind, they ever sing of Krishna, how to make Krishna happy, how to make Krishna comfortable. This is the only thought of the devotees. So when they feel that if they are, because they are crying and tears are coming out, is inauspicious, then that is not be too good for Krishna. They feel that it's not be good for Krishna. Of course, Krishna is now going to be affected by anything out this is called auspicious and auspicious. But still, see, this is a feeling of, these are rasas. Even though they know that Krishna is a supreme personality Godhead, still they feel that if they are unnecessary shedding tears, it is auspicious. These said to be not auspicious in the material terms. But so they don't want that happen to Krishna. So this is an intense love for Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said, therefore they want to check them. They thought at the same time the tears at the moment may be cause of misfortune for Krishna. Although there's nothing like that misfortune in Krishna, but still they think that it be misfortune in Krishna. And therefore they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because their tears could not be checked. It said that in case service also, when Sridhama, he was fanning Krishna with Chamara, and Krishna was feeling very happy. And Krishna, seeing Krishna happy, he became very happy. And so happy he was that his tears started flowing from his eyes. Then, because the tears are flowing out of his eyes became blurred. So he cannot properly see Krishna now. Then he thought, okay, I'm fanning Krishna, but I should have clear vision of Krishna. If I don't see Krishna properly, clearly, then I will not be able to fan him, because sometimes he may move this way and sometimes change his position also while sitting. So if my eyes are blurred because of tears, I will not be able to execute this seva very nicely. So he wanted to check these tears so that his service is not affected. This is attitude. This is a conscience of devotees, purity of devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is one book, is always describing this most relishable pastimes devotees having with Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Vancha Guruvasya.
Rudasya kripa sindhubhyev cha padinanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanta ki
Jai.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada